Hello everyone, welcome back to AMU1333. Today we're talking about two essential career tools, the resume and cover letter. Now, you might be thinking, do people still read cover letters in 2025? The short answer is yes, they do, especially for your first job or internship. A well-written cover letter can really help you stand out. Employers still look at it as a sign that you are serious and you have taken the time to personalize your application and that you understand the role that you're applying for. Think of your resume and cover letter as your first impression on paper. They often are the first things a potential employer will see before they even meet you, before they even hear from you, or sometimes even before they even shortlist you. So in a way, they are like your passports, opening doors to interviews, opportunities, and your future career. This is especially important when you're applying for your very first job, where you might not have loads of skills or experience. Oh, sorry, you do have the skills, potential, and personality to offer. And these documents are how you show that. The cover letter is about your present and your future. It tells the employer why you are interested in the role, how your current skills match their needs, and what you hope to contribute if you get the job. It is your chance to connect the dots between the job description and your motivation. Your resume, on the other hand, is more focused on your past, your education, your experience, your achievement. It is the proof behind your potential. The key is showing how to present all of that or all those information into a clear, relevant, and professional document. Now that you understand what a resume is, let's talk about what makes it effective. Not just good, but great enough to grab the attention to those first few seconds that people would see it. First, the best resumes are tailored. This means you're not just sending the same documents again and again and again to every job that you apply for. You're adapting it to show how your skills and experience match what the employer is looking for. If a job asks for teamwork and communication skills, highlight those in your resume. If it's more technical, bring your software skills to the front. A tailored resume shows that you have done your homework and you have put in a lot of effort, put in effort ahead. Next, don't just list your responsibilities, show results. So instead of saying, I manage social media accounts, you could say, grew Instagram engagement by 40% over 3 months. Numbers and outcomes tell a stronger story than just tasks. They prove that you didn't just do the job, you did it well. A strong resume prioritizes what matters the most to the role. That means putting relevant experience near the top, even if it's unpaid, like volunteer work, internship, or class projects. You want the reader to see right away that you're a good fit. And finally, presentation counts. Use professional language, clear, confident, and action-orientated. Start bullet points with strong verbs like develop, led, design, coordinated. Keep formatting clean and easy to read. Keep the formatting clean and easy to read. Use consistent fonts, spacing, and sections. One page is ideal for most students or recent grads. Make it skimmable because most recruiters scan and do not read. So if you're building your resume, think of it as your personal marketing brochure. Tailor it, focus, and focus on impact. Highlight what's relevant and keep it polished. That's how you make it stand out. All right, now, so you know what content should be included in your resume. Let's talk about formatting. Because no matter how good your experience is, if your resume is hard to scan, looks messy, it might get skipped over. The first rule, less is more. Your resume should be clean, easy to scan, and preferably one page if you're a student or early career professional. Use bullet points and not long paragraphs. Use clear headings. Make sure everything is aligned and spaced out. Think of it as a professional layout, not a design experiment. Always list your most recent experience first, whether it's a job, internship, or education. Employers want to see what you've been doing lately. So do not start with your first ever part-time job or high school activity. Keep the order consistent and logical. Stick to professional, readable fonts like Arial and Helvetica. Keep the font size around 10 to 12 points for the body text and a little larger for the heading section. Avoid using funky, decorative fonts. This isn't a Canva or Instagram post. Your goal is clarity, not creativity. Use clear sections and headings like work experience, education, skills, activities volunteering. This help guide the reader to make your resume easier to navigate. You can adjust the order based on what is most relevant to the job that you're applying for. And this is very important. Leave out personal information like your age, marital status, religion, or even a photo, unless you're in a country or industry that requires it. In most cases, it is unnecessary and can create slight biases. Last tip, give your resume room to breathe. Use white space to create sections, to separate sections and avoid cramping too much into one area. Big text blocks are hard to read and overwhelming. Keep it clean and visually balanced so employers can quickly find what they're looking for. To sum it up, format your resume to be reader friendly. Think clean, clear, and concise. One page professional fonts, reverse chronological order, and no unnecessary fluff. Because a resume that is easy to read is a resume that gets noticed. Now that you've created a clean professional resume, there is one more thing that you need to take consideration of, which is the application tracking system or ATS. This is a software many companies will use to scan and filter resumes before any humans ever see them. Well, if your resume doesn't get past the ATS system, it might not matter how impressive your resume is or how impressive your experience are because no one will see it. That's why making your resume ATS friendly is just as important as good design and good content. ATS system looks specifically for keywords from the job ad. So make sure your resume uses the same language. If the posting asks for project management skills or Adobe Creative Suite, and you have those skills, include those exact terms. Don't guess. Mirror the wordings from the ad wherever it honestly applies to you. Most ATF system reads files best when they're in PDF or docx format. Some older systems can't process certain file types unless the job listing says otherwise. Use these two formats are the safest. ATS system often struggles with graphics, text boxes, tables, and even columns. They might jumble up content or miss it all together. So keep your layout simple and linear. Even if it looks less flashy, it is easier for the system to read. Use the same terms the employer used to describe skills, tools, and qualification. For example, if they say customer relationship management instead of CRM, follow their wordings. This improves your chances of matching the job description and getting flagged as a good fit. So in short, if your resume looks good to a recruiter, but it cannot make past the ATS system, you are missing a key step. Your goal is to make it readable for both system and the human. Think clean, keyword rich, and structurally simple. This is your winning formula. Okay, now let's talk about how you can write your resume bullets. Because listing your responsibility is one thing, but writing them in a way that is dynamic, result focused, and easy to understand is what makes your resume stand out. First, begin your with bullet points with strong action verbs. This gives your statement energy and focus from the start. Here are a few examples that you can use. Words like implemented, analyzed, designed, coordinated, and facilitated. These verbs tell the reader exactly what you did, not just what you were responsible for. There's a simple formula to follow and it works all the time. Start with an action verb, state the task that or challenge that you're doing, and show measurable outcome or results. This helps focus on impact and not just the activity. Let's take, for example, this statement. Coordinated a team of 6 to redesign the students' newsletter, increasing readership by 30% over one semester. Now, what makes this statement strong? It starts with an action verb, coordinated. It tells us what they did, redesign the student newsletter. And it ends with a quantifiable result, increase readership by 30%. Now, that's something an employer will remember. This is the kind of writing This kind of writing turns a generic resume into a performance-based result resume. It shows that you do not just do tasks, you achieve results, you accomplish results. Even if you do not have the work experience, you can do it with your class projects, volunteer work, or group assignments. So, as you build or revise your resume, don't just list what you did. Show what you have accomplished. Action verb gives your statement power, and numbers give them credibility. Before we wrap up the resume section, let's look at some common mistakes that weaken even the strongest resume. These may be small things, but they make a big difference in how professional, polished, and credible resumes appear to your employee or employer. These might be obvious, but it happens a lot. Even a small typo, spelling mistake, like using the wrong verb, tense, or misspelling a job title, can suggest carelessness. Employers might think if they didn't proofread their resume, what will they pay attention to details on the job? So always spell check. And better yet, ask someone to proofread for you too. Avoid language that feels weak, unclear. Instead of saying was responsible for social media, say manage social media accounts and created content to increase engagement. The goal is to sound confident and specific, not passive and unsure. A messy resume with mixed fonts, uneven spacing, and inconsistent bullet points is hard to read and looks unprofessional. Keep your format clean, aligned, and consistent throughout. Remember, if it looks disorganized, the employer might assume that your work is disorganized too. You do not need to include every job you have, especially if it's not relevant. For example, your high school prefect role may not belong on a resume for a graduate level job. Focus on experiences that support the position you're applying for and leave the rest off. Words like motivated, passionate, dynamic, or a team player are fine, but they become very, very overused, that they don't mean much unless you have examples to back them up with. Instead of saying excellent communicator, show how you've communicated. For example, delivered weekly team briefings to align project goals across 3 departments. Now that's real and measurable. Saying excellent leader isn't enough. You need to show how you've led. For example, led a 5-person team to plan campus fundraising event, raising $3,000 for a local NGO. Now that statement gives the reader or shows proof of leadership, not just your opinion about yourself. Now that we have covered resumes, let's talk about the other half of a strong job application, the cover letter. Yes, it is still important, especially for roles where personality, motivation, or communication skills matters. A great cover letter can humanize your application and give you the real edge. A strong cover letter doesn't just talk about you. It connects your story, your skills, your experience, your goals to what the employer is looking for. You want to show that you understand the role, the company, and that you are a good fit for the company. It is not your biography, but it's a bridge between your values and their needs. You're there to show how you can meet their needs. Employers always want to hire people who want the job, not just someone who is applying to everything. So your letter should show genuine enthusiasm. Let them know why the job excites you, how it fits to your career path, and what draws you to that specific company. Passion, when sincere, makes your letter memorable. One of the biggest mistakes is sending the same cover letter to every job that you're applying for. Employers can spot a cut and paste job instantly. So if you're applying for a similar roles or you're applying for similar roles, customize each letter. Mention the company by name. Highlight specific responsibilities from the job description and align your skills with what they are asking for. Personalization shows effort, and effort gets noticed. A great cover letter also follows a very clear structure. Number one, opening. The opening. Greet the hiring manager or state the role that you're applying for. The middle, connect your experience and skills to the job with examples. And closing, reaffirm your interests, thank them, and include a call to action. Like, I would like, I would like to welcome the opportunity to discuss how I can contribute. Keep it to 1 page, ideally 3 to 4 paragraphs. Concise, focused, and easy to read. In short, a great cover letter is not just about writing well, it is about connecting. You are telling the employer, here's who I am, here is what I can bring, and here is why I'm excited to work with you. Now that's powerful, and that will help you stand out. Now let's break the structure down a little bit. Having strong structure makes your message clearer, more professional, and easier for employers to follow. Start with a proper header at the top of the page. This should include your name and contact details and date, and the employer's name, title, and company address. Even in the digital age, this format shows professionalism and attention to details. Next, your greetings or salutations sentence sets the tone. Try to address the letter to a specific person. Dear Miss Tan, or dear Dr. Lee. If you can't find a name, a good fallback is Dear Hiring Community or Dear Hiring Team. Avoid generic phrases like to whom it may concern. They feel really, really outdated and impersonal. Your introduction paragraph should be short but powerful. State the position you're applying for and quickly say why you're excited about it. This can be something about the role, the company's mission, or how it aligns with your goals. This is where you grab their attention. So don't just say, I'm applying for X position, and the sentence shows no motivation whatsoever. This is the heart of your letter. Use one or two paragraphs to highlight the skills, experiences, and achievements that make you a great fit for the role. Match what you have done with what they are looking for. And if possible, connect your values or your interests to the company's mission. This shows that you have done your research and you're not just applying blindly. Your closing paragraph should do three things. Reinforce why you're a good match, show your enthusiasm for the opportunity, and politely invite a next step, like a meeting or an interview. Example, I would like to bring my design skills to your growing marketing team. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to the opportunity to speak to you further. Keep it professional, positive, and confident, but never pushy. So think of your cover letter as your story. Your story that is tailored to the job that you really, really want. With a clean, clear structure and a tone that's both professional and human, you'll be far ahead of those who are just copying and pasting and guessing their way through it. Now that we have talked about the structure, let's look into how your cover letter can stand out in the right way. Personalization is what separates a forgettable letter from a memorable one. Your opening line is always the first impression. So skip the dull, I am writing to apply, and say something more engaging, but still professional. You might say, as a long-time admirer of your sustainable initiatives, I was excited to see an opening in your communication team. This shows that you have done your research and you're not just applying randomly. The key is show the employer that you actually know something about them. If they recently launched a campaign, won an award, or announced a strategic goal, mention it. This helps you connect your skills to what they're currently doing, and it shows that you have taken the initiative to learn about their work. Instead of saying, I am a great team player, try saying this. In my final year capstone project, I've collaborated with 5 classmates to produce a social media campaign that reached over 10,000 views. Now, see the difference? Real examples are more convincing than vague claims. Every company wants to know what is in it for us. So draw the connection clearly. If the job asks for strong research skills and you've done academic research or academic or intensive research, spell it out. If they value creativity, show how you have applied that in your work, study, or volunteer projects. Lastly, remember, your letter should be confident, not arrogant. Polished, not wordy. Stay positive. Focus on what you can bring. Keep it to a one page. No employer wants to read an essay. They want clarity. So, the best cover letters feel tailored, thoughtful, and enthusiastic. They speak directly to the employer, highlight the most relevant parts of your story, and leave the reader wanting to know more or wanting to have an interview with you. Now let's talk about design and consistency. Consistency. the polish that pulls your resume and cover letter together into a professional cohesive package. Think of a resume and cover letter as a pair. They do not need to be identical, but they should belong together, or they need to belong together. Use the same fonts, right? If you're using Arial, Calibri, or Times New Roman, keep your spacings, margins, and header format consistent across both documents. This visual consistency helps to create clean, unified impression. If your resume bullet points are your best friends, they make information easy to scan, which is exactly what the employers want to read. Each bullet point should start with a strong action verb and communicate specific achievement and responsibility. This might seem minor, but it's really important. Double check the job titles, company names, dates. Make sure they match both your resume and your cover letters if they are mentioned. Even small inconsistency can raise real flags for recruiters. Unless you're applying for a creative or design-based role, keep things simple. Avoid using bright colors, headshots, infographics, or decorative fonts, especially if you're applying it through the ATS system. Simplicity looks more professional and works better across devices and platforms. Finally, when you're ready to send it out, always save your documents as PDF to preserve the formatting. Only use docx files if the ad specifically asks for it. And don't forget to name your files clearly, like your first name, last name, resume.pdf. These small details shows that you are organized. So remember, presentation matters. Neat, consistent, and professional designs won't get you the job by itself, but it can definitely help you get noticed. So take it seriously. Let's wrap up everything we have talked about with a few key takeaways. These are essential to remember when you're crafting your resume or cover letter. One size fits all doesn't work here. Each job is unique. Your application should reflect what your application should reflect that. Tailor your resume and cover letter to highlight the experiences and skills that is most relevant to the specific role that you're applying for. Recruiters and hiring managers can tell that you have made an effort. So don't just list out what you did, show the impact. Whenever possible, include numbers to back up your accomplishments. For example, increase event attendance by 40%. Says more than help plan events. Numbers help your achievements stand out. Today, your application often goes through a computer before it reaches a person. So use keywords from the job description, especially job titles, skills, tools, or certifications. This helps you pass the ATS system and shows hiring managers that you speak their language. Simple is smart. Use clean fonts, consistent spacing, and clear section headings. Avoid anything flashy that distracts your message. The goal is to make it as easy as possible for someone to quickly see your value. Finally, no matter how strong your content is, spelling and grammar errors can hurt your credibility. So proofread carefully. Ask someone to check it for you. A clean, error-free document reflects your attention to details. Remember, your resume and cover letter are more than just documents. They are your first impressions, your personal marketing pitch, and your entry point into the job market. Make them count. Looking forward to see you guys in class.